For we've been doing this 2 years. Thanks a lot, Kareem. Thanks a lot to Hannah Glinsky. Everybody who sends us your guests. You know, Ed from Philly, who I call him now. He said, "Call me Ed from Philly."
That's right.
Thanks a lot for Ed, Ty Nitty from Southern Heat Entertainment sending us your guests. Yvonne Diva Dash. You know, even Dawn Michelle. Everybody who's helped. Oh, Another Chance Media.
That's right.
Audrey Reyes and Trina Clarkson. Trina, I hope you're getting better. I know you had a little situation. I hope you're feeling good, and thank all of you guys, all of the prisoners, the federal inmates that we interview.
Right.
You know, peace out to you guys. Keep your head strong, and so everybody who's a part of this show, who makes this show possible.
That's right.
Because we don't do this by ourselves.
We don't.
You know what I'm saying? And you know, with that, I'm always happy to have a guest.
Oh, absolutely. I feel good. Got the butterflies.
You know, listen, I don't take it for granted whenever anybody wants to come on the show, right?
You can.
I don't take that for granted. But not only that, we started in the den.
Right in the den.
And we were sitting in the den, and we had these two fold-out tables.
In the car, the dogs kept barking.
Dogs were barking.
Our sound was good, but the dogs was in the back barking.
Coco, Chloe. And we literally put towels over the thing and put the mics. And Tracy, my wife, comes in the middle of the show. Like, this is the tackiest thing I've ever seen. And I'm like, what? We're podcasting. Nobody cares.
That's what you call grinding.
And then, so from that moment, it was like, okay, we got to get our act together.
Right.
And there was a bunch of stuff in here. We came in here.
It's a garage, man.
We followed the inspiration.
Yeah.
And listen, so look, we're here, and I'm gonna say this right. LA love the boss.
You got
Straight
it.
out of DMV, Maryland. I've been doing very good with my name pronunciation as of late. Yeah, I'm like 10-0 in the last 10 interviews. How are you doing?
Hi, I'm great. How are you?
Thanks for coming.
Thank you for having me.
Oh, we appreciate it.
Yeah, and so, you know, you flew in, you came, I was talking with Mom.
Yeah, Mom and Jill.
Mama Jill.
Mama Jill. We need to get Mama Jill on the show.
Mom and
too.
manager.
Well, listen, me and Mom were talking, I don't want to over-exaggerate, I think we was on the phone for about a half hour.
Oh, wow.
Easy.
Yeah, but you know what? It helps when we bring the managers on first.
Ooh.
Sometimes it does.
Well,
You know.
well, we've had that, but, you know, I talked to Mom, and Mom felt like that we were a place that she would want her, not only somebody she's managing, but her daughter to come, so I'm really honored by that, you know. And so, how are you doing?
I'm great.
Yeah.
I made it here. I woke up this morning. I see you're blessed.
Yes, and you're working hard, huh?
Working hard, staying out of trouble as much as I can.
Okay. A little trouble's good.
A little trouble.
You know.
As long as it's not, high bond and
That's
anything
right.
crazy like that to drive my mom crazy.
Yeah, you don't want to drive Mom crazy,
No.
but, little trouble's good because it kind of centers us back on what we need to be doing.
It does. I came up with something today. I actually was taking a shower and it's crazy. I was like, we all need to find that happy medium. It's in between. It's never too far to the left. It's never too far to the right. It's right in the center.
No doubt.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
No doubt. And life is about balance. But I was checking out, so from the time people send us the information, all me and Jeff do is we sit
We
and
do our
we study
research.
them, we do our research. First of all, I'm a fan.
Thank you.
I'm a fan.
Thank you.
And I'm not just saying this because you're here.
And I'm not just saying this.
So you would say this behind my back.
I ain't saying this.
You would say this behind my back.
Ain't got nothing to do
I'm not
with
just
your
saying it because you're beautiful. Look, I'm not just saying it because you're beautiful, right?
you.
I'm not just saying it just to be saying it.
She don't believe us.
I think she believes us.
I'm getting convinced.
Yeah. But I'm saying it because I actually like your music.
Thank you.
And I like what you represent.
Thank you.
And so as me and Mom were talking, I've been around long enough to I see past just what somebody portrays on the screen, right?
You're a visionary. You
And
can
then
differentiate.
And talking to my mother, I said my mother, oh my goodness. And talking to your mother,
We love her too so bad.
Oh.
you're the fruit of her tree. So in talking to her, I already knew what you were really about.
That's right.
And not just... So I went back as far as looking at Rockstar, right?
Yeah.
And you was
That
this
video I
cute
put out when I was
little
16. Yeah. I was a teenager.
So, talk to me about let's go back and talk to me about your introduction to music, how you fell in love with music.
Oh my God. So my mom actually had a salon in Baltimore that she owned, Elisa's Nails and Cosmetics. She
Okay.
did nails, makeup, and all that stuff.
Gotcha.
So she's always was in the beauty business, and I would perform for all of her clients. Can I sing for you? Can I perform for you? Can I do all this? At 5 years old, I actually fell in love with Britney Spears. That's the first person I loved in music. I know for a lot of people, nobody believes that.
I did not expect to hear
But she was
that.
such a great entertainer. It kind of resonated with me. So I dressed up as Britney Spears and I sung all her songs and everything. So I would perform, and then I started writing poetry at 9 years old. I entered all these school contests, all that. At the age of 11, I realized that I can convert the poems into songs and melodies and raps and all of this. And that's exactly what I did at 13. I created my first song called Swagger So Mean. We put on MySpace.
Swagger So Mean?
Swagger So Mean.
MySpace.
Swagger So
MySpace.
Mean. MySpace.
MySpace.
I got MySpace. Had that popping in school, in middle school, and then after that, I was homeschooled because I wanted to pursue my music career. After
That's
that.
dope.
So what is that like, just being homeschooled and not being around your friends in school and everything?
Oh my goodness, it didn't bother me because I've always been an introvert, but I've always been outgoing. So it's weird. I'm an introvert, but I'm outgoing at the same time. But I'm sociable when I want to be with the right groups of people.
Okay, okay.
And this energy feels good, by the way. So it wasn't a problem for me. I didn't miss anything. I don't regret anything. I think if anything, it kind of humbled me.
Right.
It just taught me a lot.
Because you know what you wanted to be
Yeah,
and accomplish.
it taught me a lot.
And it was going to have to be a sacrifice to get
About
there.
balance, sacrifice. I didn't go to prom. I didn't go to any school dances. I didn't do any of that. And I always said I would be walking on a red carpet, so it didn't bother me.
So you thought about making this a job at an early age in your life.
Early age, yeah. I told my mom, like, this is what I want to do, Mom. And then it's funny, my principal called my mom and said, I think we need to take her out of school. She's such a distraction. Believe this. Yeah, it's hard to believe, but my principal called my mom and said, we want to take her out of school, homeschool her. It's a lot going on. It's like a fashion show every time she comes to school. People are on her. She's rapping at the lunch. Too much is going on. She's disturbing the curriculum. But she's like, no. But she knew I was always outgoing and so poignant about what I wanted to do. So we started homeschooling at the age of 13, 14, 13 and a half.
That's amazing that, a child at that age kind of knows what they want.
Right.
And, how they need to sacrifice to get it. Because to get anything, we got to give up. We got to give up something.
And it's different nowadays. Keep in mind, years ago, I find that a lot of people didn't take this as serious as now.
Right.
Because now, we have the access of social media, and it makes things so easy just to put out your own material and be the boss like yourself.
And promote yourself, yeah.
Yeah.
So you went from the kind of rock star image with all of the colors.
Yeah. Because I started as a teenager, really young, and that conversion rate between being a teenager into a young adult, that's a transitional period you go through. Because now you're able, after 18, to fully express yourself, how you want to express yourself, what image you want to have, how sexy you want to be. Under 18, that's not really acceptable for females, so it's different. We didn't rock the boat too much on that. But after 18, I did what I wanted to do.
And now it's the boss image.
Yes. Yes.
And sex sells.
Yes.
Right. Let me say sexuality.
Yeah, sexuality.
Sells.
It's a big difference. I say being a sex symbol, I am that. But when you are sexy, you're not selling your actual sex. It's a difference between that. A lot of people don't realize that. I'm not actually selling my, box or anything, but I'm selling the illusions. It's all a fantasy.
It's all a fantasy. It's your job. So it's no different than somebody in a movie playing a role in a movie.
Playing a role.
I never once looked at your Instagram and said, she's a slut.
Yeah. Thank you.
No, I mean...
No, I'm saying thank you. I appreciate it. I'm not.
I didn't look at it and go, oh, because she's showing her body, she's twerking, she's a slut.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys, see, there's this big double standard.
Exactly.
And a lot of guys think just because, even if it was a sex thing,
Right.
just because a female likes sex, it makes them a slut.
No.
Absolutely.
They like it just like They're in the act
Yes.
with you.
Talk about it.
Right.
Why can't they get passionate and be like, oh my God, oh, this is good, right? So guys get it twisted, but also as a female, you can capitalize on the fantasy because people want the fantasy.
Right.
And maybe a lot of your followers have that fantasy of, oh wow, I wish I could be. But everything, music is about fantasy. TV is fantasy.
Right. And speaking of TV, with all the social media, that's going on, I mean, for instance, do you feel, female rappers are more acceptable these days? Because it goes on in television all the time. And people are able to see it as opposed to before.
Right.
As opposed to before.
Like the Cardi B's and, it just goes, the list goes on. Do you feel like they're more acceptable now?
I do. I think that females now in general have a voice that we did not have back in such a time. We had Little Kim, we had Foxy Brown, we had Queen Latifah, we had MC Light, so many amazing people. Yeah. But then after the internet era, which is the new millennial, MTV, BET, all of these, again, illusions and perceptions and all that started coming out. And it really started resonating with us as people, especially young people. We're impressionable at certain ages. Right. So when we see that, it's like, I want that, because we're influenced by what we see.
We're influenced by what we see.
That's a good point.
So what has been some of the hurdles that you've had to overcome so far in this business in having the LA the boss image of sexy boss? What are some of the hurdles that you've had to encounter so far? Oh man,
people saying that they want to do business, but it's never really business. Kind of giving me proposition, if you do this, I'll do that for you. And kind of proving a point that I'm serious in what I do. All of this is just a fantasy. Me being sexy shouldn't equate to my talent. I could be talented and sexy at the same time. Then you have some people that are talented, but they don't showcase sexy. But that's something that's in a person. You can't give somebody sexy. I can be sexy fully covered. I can be sexy fully out. I choose to be out because I own my sexuality and sensuality. Gotcha. So it's different. But just proving the point that I'm nothing like you may think, but you yourself, you're a visionary. You see beyond that. You're like, oh, I already knew you weren't doing this and doing that. Because it's part of the game. It's a business.
Sisters know our secret.
And behavior speaks, behavior is different.
Behavior is different.
Behavior is totally different.
And it's a business. You don't want to get robbed, even though... when someone is in a position of power, they can negotiate from a different perspective. Me and your mom were talking about how your manager, I don't want to keep referring to that, me and your manager was talking about how you guys aren't trying to skip any steps in the process, that you want to take your time in the process and do it right and build the foundation right. What has foundation building been like for you? Because foundation building is tough. I've built businesses, and I know it doesn't always feel good in that process. Talk to me about foundation building your brand.
Foundation building a brand, it takes a lot of patience. It's all a process. None of this happens overnight. So I think it goes back to sacrifice, taking time to be dedicated, and really realizing what your purpose is. Why am I doing this? Why do I want to be in this? Is this something that I see for a long-term goal? You being young and going through certain things. I'm newly 24, so of course you could become indecisive at some points because you stop believing in things that don't happen at the pace that you want it to happen. But you have to constantly remind yourself that, look, this is what I do. I'm a boss. I'm going to continue to keep doing it. And if you don't believe in yourself, it'll never happen. I believe that I've been my biggest investment by far. No one has invested in me, and no one has put me on, and no one has done anything for me. And I'm not selling my soul to get ahead. So it is steps, and it is levels to this game.
What would you say is the biggest misconception of yourself? Being in this male-driven, this is a male-driven sport here. What would you say is the biggest misconception of yourself, if you could tell me something?
The biggest misconception about LALove the Boss is, what does she do? Who is LALove the Boss? A lot of people know who I am. 2.7 million followers. Okay, good.
Right.
But is she a model? Is she a rapper? What does she do? I do it all. Music is my passion. But again, it takes it back to I monetize very well off my brand. We're brand building here. Yes. I've done movies. I've done endorsement deals and magazine spreads and all this stuff that equals up to what my fan base is now. But my focus right now in 2020 is my passion. And I've been able to build that foundation where now I can introduce that and people are welcoming my music and taking that more serious because I actually just put out a new body of work of my own original music.
Music that I like.
I love it.
Music that how to turn my wrists into Christmas.
Hey.
What inspired you to write that? I mean, what came into your mind to even? It's a dope concept.
Thank you.
You know, when you hear the song, the first thing you think of.
Because Christmas is lights and your wrist is lighting up, right? And so
it's like, what inspired you? What inspired you to do that?
I was actually here in New York about 11 months ago when I wrote that record, and I was in the studio, upstate New York. And shout out to Chief, and we were in the studio. He presented me the beat. Solo did it.
Christmas
did the
time.
production.
Christmas
no,
time.
it was but it was in January, February.
Oh, okay.
And I'm like, and this beat was so hard, so I started out like, I'm a gift. So I didn't turn my wrists into Christmas. Your nigga want me held up on his wish list. I'm like, okay.
Very
so
catchy.
now, but then I was telling him, I said, wait a minute, it's not Christmas. Why am I saying? He said, you're a gift, you're a present. Keep going off of that.
Ooh.
So so he gave, So he gave me like the gas push, and then I just after that, I'm like, okay, I didn't turn my wrist into Christmas. I didn't turn your bitch into Christmas. This whip and all that. So it just started, falling off the top of my head, and then I just ran with it.
It's like one of those songs that you hear, and you're like, why didn't anybody else think of this title? But it's just
like something that somebody else could have thought of, but they didn't.
But they didn't.
Right, and it's seamless and it flows. But you know what? You know what's funny? We talking about the journey and all of the stuff that you're going through, but quality people will do quality work, and you're gonna play like you practice. It kind of goes back to I used to be a youth football coach, and I'm a sports guy, so I love football. And so we had this team, and we won the championship the year before. So now we into the second year, and we blowing everybody out. So it was about like week 8, and all of the kids, young kids, 13 years old, they playing around at practice, right? Not taking it serious because they scraped the team earlier in the year. And I said to them, I said, guys, we're going to play like we're practicing. Whenever you suit up to perform, to go on stage, to perform, even if you're practicing, you got to act like.
Do it like you're doing it on stage.
50,000.
Yes.
And guess what? Middle of the third quarter, it's 28-7. And they looking at each other. Oh, shoot. We've been blowing it. No, because y'all been playing. Now, we won the game.
That's right.
But that was a lesson for them.
Right.
Like, yo, you can't take off. That team was 4-4.
Yeah. Just
got into the playoffs, and they were scraping, and they had a vengeance. And so do you find that that you always got to make sure that you keep yourself up to that level, that you're like always have that intensity, and does it get a little draining at times?
You know what? This is my motto. Stay ready so you don't have to get ready. I rehearse every day like it's 50,000 people out there in the arena. Sometimes it is overwhelming, but I am my biggest competition. I don't worry about other people. It's more like I got to top what I did last month. I got to top that last record. I got to top that last look. This last anything, because it really starts with me. If I don't get me together, then I can't project the right image and the right, I guess, the perception of me, if that makes sense. So.
And get you together as far as getting rest, eating healthy, making sure you're together, mind, body.
Yeah, mind, body, and soul.
Because quality people put out quality work.
That's right. That's right.
Quality people run quality businesses. Quality people. I'm telling you, now I know some pieces of shits that are doing well, right? But the Lord's success doesn't necessarily judge character.
No, it doesn't.
Right? So like a serial killer can water a plant and the plant's still gonna grow. Right? Lord said Trump's a piece of shit, right? but he follows certain laws
Right.
of success and he's successful. But I don't want to be the successful piece of shit.
Right.
I want to be the quality successful person
Same here.
that people are better. Somebody just told me recently, Malik, people are, and this kind of goes into my question, Malik, people are, because I talk a lot, right? And I lecture and I give deep stories. My daughter can come to me and ask me something simple, and I'm like, I got her back in the 80s when I was on the block and shit. In the early 90s, we was hustling on the court. And they're like, yo, I just want to go to the party with my friend. I didn't want,
Yes,
but the person said to me, he said, yo, Malik, people are going to not always remember what you say. They're not always going to remember what you did for them. But they're always going to remember how you made them feel.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Oof, same time.
Is that your goal to, like, when somebody leaves your show
Yes.
or listen to your music, that they feel good about themselves?
Absolutely. I believe that character speaks volumes. Like you said, you could be successful but still a piece of shit. You know what I mean? So I just pride myself on having those morals and values and really giving to people instead of taking from anybody, because I look at it like the roles are reversed. It takes so much to get success. So once you have a little piece of success, you hold on to it and then you work for more success. So I love to leave that everlasting impression on people
Right.
that LA is so humble, LA is so funny, LA is so cool, because this is really me. I don't have to pretend to be this way. This is really me. So I think it's different when it's really you versus a facade. You're putting on these airs and you're fabricated because people read through
Yeah,
something.
there's a lot of people, of course, in this business. And I've worked in the music industry for quite some time before I got into, podcasting and doing businesses on my own. I worked at Establishes, ASCAP, EMI, music group.
Yeah.
I specialized in music publishing and royalties, and I ran into a lot of, famous people, and some of them was really humble,
Yeah.
and some of them wasn't.
Yeah.
One person in particular that I remember that was extremely humble, that actually came around the office and shook everybody's hand and was like, "Listen, you don't need no autograph. I'm a regular person," and I was Missy Elliott.
I love one of my music
She is
idols.
so
Yes.
friendly.
Really? She was,
So humble,
Yes,
so friendly,
and you see she's still around.
and
Yeah.
she's still around.
because of her character.
Mm.
Because of her character,
Yeah.
and that's why I love Missy Elliott. She's talented. She's humble. She really is who she says she is. It's a difference.
Yeah. So I got a couple questions before we end the show, and Jeff, I want you to record these questions on the camera. Please make sure you get them. A couple questions before we end the show. So, you're on a desert island, sort of like Tom Hanks style, right? Castaway, right? And it's just you. You're never going to be around humanity ever again, right? And this black genie comes out of the bottle. And he's going to grant you one of everything. So, the first thing is, what meal would you eat every day? He's only give you one meal, and you're going to eat this meal every day for the rest of your life.
Chipotle.
Chipotle? That's going to be your meal?
Chipotle, yes.
Okay, gotcha. One non-alcoholic beverage.
Non-alcoholic beverage.
Yeah.
Ginger ale. Does that count?
Ginger ale?
Yeah, I love ginger.
Yeah, okay.
Shouldn't,
what
but I
you
like
wanna
it.
drink. And you're going to drink that every day for the rest of your life. Okay.
Well, I gotta have some water up in there by ginger ale.
Okay, that's your choice.
Ginger
Okay.
ale.
Alcoholic beverage.
Absolute vodka.
Gotcha. What would be your one album? Your one album is the only music you ever gonna listen to. Rest of your life.
Good God Almighty. Oh my goodness. Outcast with Andre 3000. Yes.
Give me one word to describe LA the boss. LALove the boss. One word to describe you.
A boss. Because I built on my own self-success. And I'm constantly building on my own self-success.
If by chance, tomorrow I get a text and they say, the sister, she left your house and something happened, God forbid, and the sister's no longer with us, right? What would you want to be remembered as?
I would want to be remembered as a person that worked hard, gave back, but was pure. Pure. Just being pure. Pure doesn't mean you haven't been through anything, because we all have a story, but just pure and genuine. So LALove, the boss, was just a genuine person.
If you could go back in time, let's just say you were 13, and you can talk, what's your name?
Lauren Elise.
Lauren Elise?
Yes.
And you could talk to a 13-year-old Lauren Elise.
Mm-hmm.
What would you tell her?
Don't grow up too fast. Pace it out. Adulthood is fun, but adulthood is real. It's real. When you're a kid, you're in your innocence, totally. It's innocent. You're innocent. Should be innocent. It's so much development you have to go through before becoming a full adult that I think that if I was still 13, I would be so blessed right now. Being a kid is fun.
Do you think she would listen to you?
Well, see, I'm kind of stubborn, so it's hard to say. It just depends on how I feel that day.
Okay, so it depends on what day you went back to the future.
Yeah. Because listen, I never really gave Mama Joe a hard time growing up, but she'll tell you, I've always been feisty, headstrong, and determined. If I didn't want to do it, I didn't do it. If I wanted to do it, I did it. It wasn't me being defiant or not obeying my mom. It was just that I was just so headstrong. I've always been fixed, and I'm still very fixed. I think it's a Scorpio trait. So
You must have gotten a lot of spankings.
no, I got punished a lot. I got punished. That was worse because I didn't get to go out. I didn't get to do anything. I looked at a wall.
Gotcha. Last but not least, if you could do anything different in this journey, what would that one thing be that you could do different?
If I could do one thing different in this journey. You know what? I probably wouldn't do anything different. And I say that in the most humble way, just because who I am is who I'm supposed to be. The steps that I've taken, the time that it's taken, and the efforts and the energies, it was supposed to happen. What's ordained cannot be changed. So for me to go back and say I regret this or I want to change this, yeah, that could be pretty possible that I want to change certain things, but I don't regret anything that got me here today and pushing me forward to my better existence.
What's ordained cannot be changed. On my podcast, I do a 7 minutes of wisdom with Brother Malik, and that's going to be one of my titles. I usually...
Chiming in.
That's dope.
I actually learn the most from the people that I learn the most from conversations.
Me too.
And I'm a terrific listener. And I learn from, that's why God told me to do this. Because I was wondering, like, why do you ask me to dime off of this? Like, my life is like super busy. I'm like, why do you assign me? And it seems like he just gives me like the hardest assignments, but I listen, right? Now, there was a time I didn't listen, and I paid the price, and I almost died, right? But I listen now because if I wouldn't have listened, right now, this moment, I wouldn't be sitting here with you, and I wouldn't have heard what's ordained can't be changed.
Because what's through God, for God, whether anybody in this room doesn't believe in him or a higher power, it's ordained for me. And I'm very spiritual, and I just know that where I stand is where I'm supposed to be standing because I'm walking in my faith. You know, it's different when you're walking in it. Some people just walking blindly, dangling off of trees and swinging and hoping and praying. But if you're not putting the work in, it'll never pan out. And I realize that. Your work is bigger than the things you say.
And so before we close this, right? Faith is sexy.
That's right.
Faith is boss.
That's right.
Spirituality is sexy.
Mm-hmm.
Spirituality is boss.
Mm-hmm.
You can express.
God loves us all. Don't tell me I'm sinning. I'm showing shit.
Yo, look. You can express yourself and have substance.
Right.
Yes.
You can express yourself and have quality. And we
Yeah.
all have different parts to us.
Yeah.
And so look, It's been a great interview.
That's right.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you for coming. We got a photo shoot afterwards that I'm looking forward to. Your photo shoot.
Yeah, we appreciate you.
And before we go, I just want to shout outs to
Yes.
this lovely, lovely jacket by Burning Guitar, sponsored by Truck and Fly.
This is dope.
Yes, they are in a partnership and it's wonderful. I love it.
Plug all of your social media. Tell them how they can get in contact with you and find out about you.
Yes, so you can get in contact with me on Instagram. That's LALove the Boss. That's LALOVETHEBOSS. It's the blue check, so don't be fooled. And Twitter, same thing. Snapchat, same thing. And then also YouTube is the same thing. And check out my new EP, How I Do It, available on Spotify, Google Play, Apple Music, and all of the above.
And she'll how to turn your wrists into Christmas.
Christmas. Y'all need to check that out.
Me all
Dope.
wish list.
Yo, another great interview. Conversations with Malik featuring Jeff Jobs.
Yes, sir.
In the show, like I always do. Brother Malik loves you. There's nothing you can do about it.
LA love the boss.
Hey.